Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes, and this video is quite a serious one. And I think if you're a parent or a grandparent, you absolutely must watch. At the moment, the Labour Party is pushing through its Children's Wellbeing and Schools Bill. Nice, soft, cuddly sounding name. Oh, children's wellbeing. Let's all look after the children. Let's not make the mistake. They are using this bill and the name of this bill to push through some pretty horrendous stuff. Now, it's a very large bill, and this is always a trick that's done. You make it large enough, you make it complex enough, and deep buried within it will be stuff that will be missed and that people may not see or pick up straight away. And then it becomes law. And then you have no rights. Rights are removed. And some pretty awful things will come. Now, we know that the Labour Party absolutely hate homeschooling and they hate private schooling. They want everyone to go into a state school because within the walls of a state school, they control everything. They can manipulate, they can mind wash, they can Stockholm. They basically can put into the minds of children what they want to go in. It's propaganda. They can't do that if a child's educated at home. They can't do that if a child is in a private, educational establishment. This is why they're putting the VAT on. Oh yes, we'll put the VAT on. It's only fair. Blah. No, it's to drive people out of private schools and into the state so that they can brainwash them. Homeschooling, similar. They're making provisions within the bill to make homeschooling incredibly hard. Now, for people who educate their children at home, this is double bad think for the government. First of all, the children tend to have a better education and higher standards because a parent working at home can spend all their time concentrating on the one or two children that they homeschool. They're not dividing their attention. And of course, the other thing is that they're not brainwashing their children, or at least they are. They're brainwashing their children to think like them, the parents. That's the last thing this government wants. Another generation thinking like the last. No, we must have a whole generation of lefty, wokies that we can manipulate and remove from them any, demand and ambition. They'll be put where they are and they will stay there and they will be happy and they will like it. And that's, of course, what they're trying to do. This is why closing the private schools and making it almost impossible to homeschool. Another thing, and this is what you can say is the most iniquitous part of it, is that they are basically removing from you your children. The state is effectively being the parent. If you think that you are the person best suited to educate and train your child in the ways of the world, think again, says the state. No, we are going to do it. We are better at it than you are. And this, of course, is why this bill must be rejected by all parents and guardians of children, because the state is not the best person to raise or organisation to raise your children. You are. Another provision within the bill is that they are going to remove from parents, and this is a bad one, the right to know what lesson plans are. This is actually in there. They don't want you to know because they feel that if you knew what was being taught in the schools, you might not like it and you might want to pull your child from the school. Now, it depends on what the lessons are, and it could be the way they're teaching this, the way they're teaching that, the spin they're putting on history, for example. You might want them to learn proper British history, and they'll say, no, you must learn this white, guilt-ridden British history, for example. But they're not going to tell you that in case you object and, say, actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to take my child out of school. I don't want that. Good Lord, no. They want you white children to feel guilty. This is all part of the push. Now, that all seems bad enough until you get to the sexual education. Now, it's not made clear within the bill, so what I'm going to do is a little bit of speculation, but we do know some things. But for example, sex education now is not just the birds and the bees. It's not just the basic mechanics of what bit of a human goes towards another bit of a human in order to make a baby. It's not even the scientific and biological aspects of how sperm meets egg, how the eggs multiply, how it turns into cells, it invaginates. It turns out you've got an anus, the tube, the growth of the arms, the quickening, and so forth. That's all very mechanical. That should be how it's taught. What they're teaching, and actually from quite a young age, is attitudes to sex. So they'll be teaching you about, or teaching your children at least, about not just the mechanics and biology of reproduction, but about things like being gay, or lesbian, or bi, or trans. This is not what a school is for. These are conversations children should be having with their parents. If a stranger in the street started talking to your children about matters like this, you'd call the police because you'd think that that person was a predator, a groomer. Hi there, little child. You don't know me, but I'm going to talk to you about sex. It's a bit groomy, isn't it? So why should a teacher do it? And beyond that, why should a teacher then start talking about techniques, perversions, things like? And I'm not perv shaming. We all have our little thing that we like. That's not what we're doing. We're adults here. But to talk to children about things like this seems odd, seems wrong to me. Why would an adult talk to a child about things like masturbation, about fantasizing while masturbating? If a teacher was to inquire of a child, tell me, Johnny, what do you think about when you're touching yourself? Does that sound the sort of thing you want to send your child to school for? Because to me, that sounds like a pervert grooming a child. And I don't think school is the correct place for people like that. I think jail is the correct place for people like that. And this will go on. But if you ask the school, can I see the lesson plan? They'll say no. And they won't let you see it because they don't want you to know that that is going on in your child's school. If you voted Labour, tell me, is that what you voted for? Thanks very much. Bye.